Good morning, Tehmina Khan is here. In this video, I will explain to you the concept of numerical solution of equation, which is a part of the syllabus of A-Level Mathematics P3 CAIE syllabus. So before we begin, you can see on the top my blog address, TKMaths.fun.blogspot.com, and I have put the link of all my videos on this blog, though I have made playlist, but still it's easy to find it over here. Now in this video, I will explain to you directly how do we apply the method of solving numerical solutions, right? In the next video, I will explain the logic behind it, because in my experience, whenever I try to explain this logic, students usually do not find it very easy to understand. So at least in this video, you will know how you will solve question. But for your knowledge, if you want to know why it happens, then you need to see my next video, right? Okay, so the thing is, why are we using the method, numerical method, to solve equation? Actually, so far you have done equations or solve equations by direct algebraic formulae or methods which are quadratic equation, 3 methods completing a square, quadratic formula or factorization. Then you have also learned how to solve cubic equation. But there are many equations which cannot be solved by these direct algebraic process. So we use numerical methods to solve such equations. There are many methods to solve, using numerical methods, but the one which we are doing is called iteration or iterative method, and within iterative method also there are multiple methods. So one we do in our syllabus, in A-level syllabus, is fixed point iteration method. So if you want to search more videos on net, so you can use fixed point iteration method and you will find videos on this method. Okay, so first I will build a concept, a little concept which will relate your knowledge with the 11 maths basically. You have done this concept in 11 maths, so it is more or less same type with little difference. Okay, so what you have done earlier, or you already know, that if you plot these two equations on the same graph, for example, y is equals to x cube and y is equals to 4 minus x. So where these two graphs will intersect, that will be the solution of these two equations. Or if I put these equal to each other, like I have done here, x cube equals to 4 minus x, and bring it into one equation, which is x cube plus x minus 4, and plot this graph. So the root of this equation will be the same as the root of the intersection of these 2 points. Let's see here, I have a sketch here roughly. For example, here, this is y is equals to 4 minus x, and this is y is equals to x cube. It is intersecting here, for example, 1.379. X value is always the root, because the x value which will come here is the root of this equation. So here I have put these two graphs separately on this graph, on this sketch, and where it is intersecting, that is my solution. Now when I change it into single equation and plotted it, it is passing through the x-axis at the same point, 1.379. And if you want to see these sketches, I told in my earlier video also, there is a graphing calculator, Desmos. So you can use Desmos. Spelling is D-E-S-M-O-S. So if you put on the Google Desmos, I will show you in a while how to use it. I have shown one example with the help of that. So you can also try it. It's a very good graphing calculator, and visualizing mathematics is always fun and made concept easy to understand. Okay, so let's go to the question. So I have picked up 3 questions from past paper, with the help of which I will explain to you how to apply iterative method to solve equations. Okay, so this is question number 1. It has 2 parts. First part is show that this equation has a root between x equals to 1 and x equals to 2. So the name of the root we are calling here alpha. So do not get confused. What is this alpha? Simply the value of x, which is the root of this equation or solution, is called alpha here. So this part is very commonly asked. So how do you solve it and what does it mean? If I'm saying the root is lying between x equals to 1 and x equals to 2, it simply means, let me show you through graph. I have sketched it here and I will show you on Desmos also, that the curve is passing through the x-axis between the point 1 and 2, because root is that point of the x on the x-axis through which the curve passes. So this is my root of the equation. So first of all, I'll prove that the root lies between 1 and 2. Okay, so the method is, in this equation which is given to you, you will substitute value of 1 in place of x. You got a negative answer. You may get a positive, it depends, whatever the equation is. And when you put x equals to 2 in the same equation, this one, you get positive answer. So whenever one answer is positive and one is negative, either this positive, this negative, or this negative, this positive. But the point here is the root is lying between 2 points. So one should give you positive answer, other should give you negative answer, which proves that the root is lying between these 2 points. Let's see how, because some students do not get it. So graph always explain it better. Now let's see. When I put x equals to 1 in this equation and this curve, you see this is the equation of the curve here, a sketch of that curve. So when I put x equals to 1, answer is negative. When I put x equals to 2, answer is positive. So when one answer is negative and other is positive, it means curve is passing through the x-axis between these 2 points. I'm repeating. When one answer is negative and other is positive, y coordinates, it means the curve will pass through this point. Because in our syllabus, we are talking about the curves which are continuous within that domain, whatever is given to you. So the curve is continuous. It is not discontinuous in between. So definitely if one value is positive, other is negative, then in between there is a point through which curve is passing through the x-axis. Now let's see how do we find this answer with the help of iterative formula, right? Now, next part of the question is saying, use the iterative formula this with an initial value this, which is 1.5, to find the value of alpha. Alpha was the root, right? Root of that equation. Correct to 3 decimal places. Now, this is given to you. This is not something different. It is actually the same equation which has been split into 2 parts. Do not get confused with this n plus 1 and n. They are simply telling you the values of x you will plug in, like x1, x2, x3. I'll explain to you this in a while. So if I write the same equation, this one, without n plus 1 and n, if you are not clear, I'll explain you in a while what is this n plus 1 and n. So if you write the same equation without n plus 1 and n, this is the equation he's talking about, right? So one equation is y is equals to x, another equation is y is equals to this. So if I just cross multiply and bring it into single form, it will be the same equation which was in the question. So I have just written it here again to show you that it is the same equation. If you cross multiply, it is 2x equals to 4 minus ln x plus 1. And then rearranging it, you are getting the same equation. So what I'm trying to say here is that the root of this equation is actually the root of the intersection of these 2 graphs. So I told you in fixed point iteration method, we split the equation into 2 parts. One part has y is equals to x, another part has y is equals to whatever will be coming here, right? So now, what we will do in this, we will substitute the value of x here, this side. Not y is equals to x, but y is equals to this thing. So we will plug in the value of x here, and which value we will start with, which is given to you in the question. Sometime it is given, sometime not. I'll tell you what to do. Other 2 examples I have taken different. So I am plugging in this value 1.5 here, okay, and when I substitute it here 1.5, my answer is 1.54185. Because question is saying give your answer corrected to 3 decimal places, so I'm writing 1.542, right? This will become 1.542. This I have written here to show you. When you are doing on the paper, you just need to write this down. Okay, so now this is my first value of x. So I'm writing here n equals to 1. So x, n mean x1 is equals to 1.5. So this one does not mean you will plug in this value of x. This one is telling you first value of x you have substituted, which was 1.5. Now x is equals to, x2 is mean next value of x. So what that will be? Same which you have gotten from here. That's why it is called iteration. Iteration means repeated again and again and again. So after substituting 1.5 on this side of the curve, the answer is 1.542. Now this value of x I will plug in here in place of x. So this is my second value. Okay. So when I plug in 1.542 here, I got this answer. Now I'm not showing you, neither you need to show to the examiner. Only one time you show this, that how you're processing it. After that you just keep writing the answer, and I'll show you on the calculator how do you solve it. Okay, so what I was saying, after substituting this value which I have gotten as a answer when I plug in 1.5, now this is my next x value. So when substituted 1.542 here, this whole thing is giving me this answer, 1.534 in 3 decimal places. Actually it was this. Now this will be my next x value which I will plug in here on this side, right? So this is my third value now, 1.534. Now I got this answer, right? Again in 3 decimal places. This was actual answer coming. There were more decimal places, but we have to write in 3 decimal places. Now this one will be my next x value here. So it is my fourth value. You see, so this is just telling you that how many iterations you have done. So far I have done 4 iterations. This is my next value. Now how long I will keep doing this? For how long? Until my answers match, because question was saying corrected to 3 decimal places. So I will see 3 decimal places, it is matching 1.535. Fine, it is matching here, right? But this one I have done for the safe side. I don't need to do this step. So once your answer matches exactly up to the decimal places which is said in the question, you stop here. So your answer is 1.534, and I'm calling it alpha because this was the name given to the root in the question. So this n, you don't need to write it. If you don't, I have just written here to explain it to you, that I'm taking n x1, then it is becoming x2. So now you understand when this was written here, n plus 1 and n, what does it mean? When you write x1 here and you get one answer, that answer gives you the next value for x, because 1 plus 1 is 2. So when you put n1, this become n plus 1, 2, x2. So that's why this number is increasing. First value gives you the second value of x, then it gives you the next value of x, and so on. So now let's see another example. Okay, before I take another example, let me just tell you here how did I find the values very quickly in the calculator. Some people know how to use it, some do not. So let me teach you here. Okay, so this was the function in which I was substituting the value of x, right? This one, not in this one, only this part. So what you will do, let me show you in the calculator. How do we do it? You know, this is the button in the calculator. So I can show you here. I'm showing you on this calculator. You can use other one also which has this feature. Okay, so you see this one, right? So what I do, I press okay on, okay, and then I'm pressing this button. Can you see here? It is coming here. Okay. So now what will I do? I will write here, what was it? 4 minus ln x plus 1. Okay. So I will type here 4 minus ln is here, yes, 4 minus ln, and then bracket is here. Let me check here, it is right. Yes, 4 minus ln. Now where is x? If you see on the top of this there is x. So I will press alpha. And then this x. So you see it is x coming here. Right? Now I will write plus, then 1, and then bracket. So my numerator is all done, 4 minus ln x plus 1. And I will put one bracket here because calculator needs a bracket to close it. This is an extra bracket, you don't need to, I just wrote it by mistake, so let me delete it. Even if I leave it right this, it will not be wrong, but still let me delete extra bracket. Oops, ln is deleted. Okay, so now it is right. Okay, so it is 4 minus ln x plus 1, right? So now I will go pressing this button and I will go down. So it is now in the denominator, and here I will write 2. So after writing this formula, you see I have used x. I did not use 1.5, which was my first value. Now I will press this button, CALC. So I will press this button and calculator will ask for the value of x you want to plug in the formula. So I want to plug in 1.5 first. By the way, if you already have used this calculator for some calculation, it might show you some value, so don't worry about it. It will not take that value, right? So don't worry about it. So I'm writing here 1.5 now in place of x, 1.5. That was my first value. And after that I will write equals to. So what it is giving me? This answer, which was my first value. So it is my next value of x for the formula, right? x2. Next. So what I will do now, I will just press calc again and I will press answer. Answer means it will pick up the previous answer. So now, and I will press equals to. So it is giving me next answer, which is 1.5335. So this is my second iteration. Now this is the value of x for the third iteration. So now I will press calc again and I will press answer and then equals to, and it is giving me the value of third iteration, right? Now third iteration and the value for the x for the fourth one. So I will again press calc, answer, equals to. And this is how I will keep writing very quickly the next value. You get my point? So this is how we use formula to get the values. So let's see question number 2. Now I will go a little fast because I have explained you the basic concept. How do we apply and how do we use calculator? Okay. So now just 2 more example. Now this is the question. First part of the question is saying show that the root lies between this and this. X equals to -1 and x equals to 0. So what method I told you? That the equation which is given to you, in that equation plug in these values. One answer should be plus, one answer should be negative. And I have already explained to you the reason. So hence it is proof that the root lies between it. Graphically again I am showing you that at -1 it is giving you negative answer. At 0 it is giving you positive answer. You see 1. So it means curve is passing between them. Okay. So next part. So question is saying the next part, that show that if a sequence of values, sequence of values which you get at the iteration, right? By using iterative formula here in this equation, it will give you the root of the equation. Which was the equation? Here. So question is saying show that if a sequence of values given by this iterative formula right? Yani कि we can give the formula for that equation with the help of this iteration method here. So forget about n plus 1 and let's write this equation again here. So for the show point, what will I do? I will rearrange this equation and it has to come into this form. That will show that the root of this will be the root of this actually. It means we have split up this into two parts. So let's see. So cross multiplication, simple algebra I'm using here. And I ended up just scrolling slowly so that you can also see what is happening. So it's a basic algebra. So I ended up at this. So this is clear to understand that the root of this equation is actually the root of or intersection of these two curves, which we will find out with the help of iterative method. So this part 2 is oftenly asked in Cambridge exams to show that the root of this equation will be the root of the equation given above. So after showing, now question is saying use this iterative formula, start with this value and find out the answer. Okay, if this is not given to you, for example, right? So in case if this value is not given to you, then what do? You know the two values between which you have proven that root lies between them. So you can begin with this, right? You can begin with -1 or you can begin with x equals to 0. Now here I would say actually there is a proper logic and explanation behind it, how to figure out which one to start with, but we don't need it for our syllabus, so I will not go into that detail. And I would just say try out with one of them and it will help you, right? Okay, so right now to facilitate us, it is given here to use this method. And you know how they have taken this value? Because it is always said that whatever the values are given to you, add them and divide it by 2. Like 0 plus -1 is -1, divided by 2 is -0.5. So it helps you to get the answer quickly. When in the next video I'll explain to you why it is happening, then you will understand the reason. But right now I'm just telling you how to do it. Anyway, so I will substitute on this side. Remember I told you forget about n plus 1 and n, which only gives you the iterations, which iteration, number 1, number 2, number 3. So I will start with this value. I will plug in here in this place and I will see what answer I get. Okay. So here I have plugged in the value and I got this answer. Now this will be my next x value for this part of the function. So I'm plugging in here using the same method of the calculator I have just taught you, and my next value is coming this. Then this will be my third value of x. You see I'm writing x3. So this is my third value of x for this part of the curve and I'm getting this answer. Then this will be my next value of x for this part of the curve and I'm getting this. Because question was saying give your answer correctly to 2 decimal places. So 0.68, 0.68, 0.68. So yes, minus 0.68 is the root of the equation. So let's see the third question. They are all from the past paper. Okay, so this is the last question as an example for this video. Now most of the time they give diagram and ask you to prove, just to make the question a little complicated, I would say. So for example, this is given to you and it is told to you this is the sector, this is the triangle, and angle between here is alpha, which you don't know. But it is saying alpha is between 0 and pi. Now the information given to you is that area of a triangle AOB, I mean this area, is half the area of the sector. And you have to show that alpha satisfy this equation. So using this information which is given to me in the question, that the area of a triangle AOB is half the area of the sector, I will end up with this proof. So let's see here. So question was saying triangle area is equals to half of area of a sector. We know area of a triangle is half AB sine C. And area of a sector is half r square theta. right? So in the diagram, if you see here, this is your AB and this is your angle C, because according to area of a triangle, two known sides, an angle between them. Okay, so I am writing here RR and I am writing here sine alpha, and here R square and alpha, and then I'm simply simplifying it. Half I can cancel on both sides. I'm left with this R square sine alpha equals to half R square alpha. Then I'm cancelling R square from both sides. So I'm left here with R sine alpha equals to alpha. So I have proven it is equals to this. So do not get confused, why do we not have alpha or x there? Because alpha is satisfying the equation, it means it is the root of the equation. So it is proved. Okay. So next part of the question is saying, which we have done twice in the previous example. Now verify by calculation that root lies between this. Now remember one thing, do not substitute root on one of the side. This is the mistake students make. In the previous two questions, the equation was given in one go, right? When we split it into two parts, we used it for iteration method. But when you are verifying that root lies between these two, you have to use the whole equation, not the part of it. So that's why I'm bringing it to this side. 2 sine x minus x, instead of alpha, you can write alpha also, doesn't matter. So now your function is this whole thing. I'm repeating, not just part of it, the whole of it. Okay, remember it. Now I'm plugging in pi by 2 in it and 2 pi by 3. So my one answer is coming positive, other negative. And remember, keep the mode here radian, because we are talking in terms of pi. So change the mode of the calculator. So once one is plus, one is minus, it means it is proof that the root lies between these two x values. Now let's see the third part of the question. Now third part of the question is saying, show that if a sequence of values given by the iterative formula this converges. Now why the word converges come? When on this part of the curve, when you substitute the value of x, sometimes it goes bigger and bigger. It doesn't reduces to one value. So that's why it is said it converges. In next video, when I'll explain you the reason, you will understand why. So it is saying when it is converging, like coming to the same point, then it is the root of equation 1. Exactly same thing we have to show here, that this split formula, which is x equals to this thing, is actually giving us the root of the equation we have proved before, which was 2 sine x minus x. So let's see here how. So first of all, this one write without n, okay, and then just rearrange it. I'm cross multiplying and then simplifying. X goes here, it will become 2x, cancelling it. And I have shown that when I will use this formula for iterative method, it will actually give me the root of this equation. Okay, and definitely fourth part of the question will be to find that root. So let's do it. So now we have to show the final answer in 2 decimal places, and all the iteration result we will show in 4 decimal places. And we have to begin with what? 1.8. If it is not given to you that begin with this, what will you do? What did I tell you? The two values of x between which the root lies, you start with one of them. Okay, and if it diverges, you start with the other one. Okay, so now as I told you, in the iteration we pick up this side, which is y is equals to the curve. This is what? Y is equals to x. If you forget n plus 1, if you forget n, so it is y is equals to x, and it is y is equals to 2 sine x. So we always plug in the values on this side. Okay, now so first value I will put 1.8. It is my first value, so I'm writing x1, n is equals to 1 because it was n here. So my answer is 1.9477. This will be my next value of x. You can see I'm writing it here. So I got this answer, and again I'm substituting only on this side. Then I substitute it again. So every time I get the answer, it becomes my next value of x for this part of the curve. And I you see the values are converging, 1.85, 1.91, 1.88, 1.90. So it is reaching towards, because I have to give answer in 2 decimal place. Right now it is 1.89 and this is 1.90 because this will increase it. 1.89, 1.90, 1.89, 1.89. So you see now it is matching. To do decimal place, same. So my answer is, if you see here, this 5 will change it into 10 and 1.90. Sorry, I said 1.89. Seeing this third decimal place, it will be 1.90. So my final answer is 1.90. Is it all right? So this question took long iteration. How many iteration? 13. Wow. So it happens. Usually you get answers in which you get the answer in 7th or 8th iteration, but it's fine. You just have to press button. So with this, I will say goodbye to you. I hope it makes sense to you. I hope you understood it. I've tried my level best, but if you have any question or if you have any particular question related to the topic, you can mention the year and the question in the comment box. I'll try to explain to you that question. Thank you very much for watching, and if you think it is useful, do share with your friends. Even if one person learn from this video, I think I'm successful. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.